There we go. Hello, everybody. Sorry for the delay. I had meetings that overlapped with the slot, and I couldn't really change. And then I was running late, of course, and also my camera that's a little better. There we go. Whoop. I'm finding my camera arm is not being very stable. This is annoying. Stay. This is always the problem with me doing streams in America time, because it's always a very busy time for me. That'll do. I've got microphone in shot. There we go. It's kind of weird. It's not really quite right, is it? What's going on? No. There we go. Now, will it actually stay? No, of course. Fun. Okay, now, whilst I'm getting my camera fixed, there we go. If I could survive camera horror, we're going to be surviving cosmic horror today. Call of Cthulhu. Call of Cthulhu, I hear you say. Oh, by the way, I'm Christian Chiller. Welcome to the Solo Adventurer, where I play games solo. And so far we've had a lot of kind of more storytelling games. I started off with some that were more in the traditional game vein, and I've decided to come back to that. And today I'm going to play Call of Cthulhu. Now, any of you who know Call of Cthulhu will be intrigued by that statement, because Call of Cthulhu is not a solo game, but it does have some solo variants. So I am going to start playing. Little bit tight for time today, so I'm not going to get through all of it, definitely not. But I am going to start part one of maybe a couple of different parts of Alone Against the Flames. I'm just going to put some lights on. Live streaming. All right, it's a little better. Still a weird angle on my camera, but it'll do. I'm not quite sure what that is. Anyway. It'll do. We've got audio. We're all good. Okay. Here is what we're going to play. We're going to play... Oops. 1 second. Let's fix that. Alone Against the Flames by Gavin Inglis. One of the handful of classic Call of Cthulhu solo variants. Using the quick start rules, which is also good. So if you like what you see, you hear, you can sort of try it yourself. You can buy the scenario and get the quick start rules for free, and play yourself. Basically, you literally play yourself, because that's the point of the stream. All right, you can. I didn't put a link on this, but you can find the scenario at Chaosium. That's where I acquired mine from, the company who publishes Call of Cthulhu. Now, it didn't really specify. Let's just scroll down a little bit. This is Alone Against the Flames, Gavin Inglis, solo adventure for Call of Cthulhu 7th edition rules. From 2016. Okay, here we go. I don't know if you can read this. Let's make it a little more visible, where we'll scroll around. There we go. A solo adventure for the Call of Cthulhu game. It's a horror story set in the 1920s. That is Call of Cthulhu, of course. The scenario is probably much the same, where you are the main character and your choices determine the outcome. It's designed to lead you through the basic rules of the game in a gradually expanding fashion. Okay, anyway, we have the quick start rules. I have those open here if we need them. Now, it says a blank investigator sheet. The interesting thing here is it doesn't specify about actually creating a character. So I pulled up one of the pre-gens I've used in the past. I have a dilettante. I need to give him a name. I'm going to call him Alex Quigmire. There we go. We'll make is a dilettante. So a dilettante is a sort of rich person with not much else better to do. So they need to be youngish. I'm going to make them 24. Sex, quite male. Resident, let's go classic. Let's go Boston. Birthplace, Boston. I'm not going to do the accent, sorry. So this is my character here. Let's have a look. He's quite attractive. That's the appearance score here. Reasonable strength, constitution, and intelligence. Average strength, average size. Actually, it's not a bad character, actually. What's he good at? He's good at being charming, as you can see here on the charm score. I think I should zoom in on this a little. There we go. Not sure how well this is going to work. I wonder if I can get rid of this full screen. No, maybe? No. I want to get rid of that grey bar at the side. And unfortunately, this also does not work in preview. Oh, that'll do. Okay, so we're good at charming. We have a very good credit rating. Reasonable at dodging. Reasonable at a gun and fighting. He's actually not a bad character. Good at English. Unsurprisingly, we're from Boston. That's about as far as I'm going to get with the accent. Can pilot an airplane. Doesn't have any kind of weapon. Why would I? I'm not really filling in much of the background here. We'll do that as we go, I think. All right. So, I would love to get this camera just a little less wonky, but I think I'm going to leave it as it is. It's going to fall down. I'll fix this up for later. I have some dice, mostly D20 in Call of Cthulhu. So I have one of my new, can you see that? Blood red for vampire, mostly D20. Got that ready. All right then. So we don't need to read the rules. We'll get started as we go. Go to number 1. It hasn't prompted me to create a character, but we'll see what happens. All right. I'll have a quick drink of water. Maybe I should very quickly check that everything is working before I go any further. And we will get started. Let me see. Yep. Everything looks good. Then let us begin. The sun is high in the sky, a merciless ball of heat. You feel scorched by the time you reach the bus halt in front of Osborne's drugstore. It's a relief to put down your heavy cases and take off your hat for a moment. Whew. You fan your face. It has been a long summer here in your hometown, and yet a curiously empty one. You look across the street at the grubby butcher's shop, the grocer's with its faded awning, and the shabby tobacconist. Mistrustful faces glare at you as they pass, eyeing your clothes and luggage. It was your parents' choice to live here, not yours. You were happy down south as a child, among Providence's white-walled houses and leafy churchyards. Perhaps this new job in Arkham will supply the change you need. I do need a job, I guess. Yet everybody you know in the world lives here. You know nobody in Arkham, not one soul. You ask yourself one last time if you're doing the right thing. The answer is here. None of your supposed friends have come to see you off. You are alone. Whatever challenges lie in Arkham, it will be a new life and a brave one. A small grey motor coach approaches and rattles to a stop. You put your hat back on and pick up your cases. Really slightly confused to hear is where I'm actually from, but anyway, we won't worry too much about that. Go to 263. I wish, oh actually I can, look at that. It is a clickable PDF. That makes things so much nicer. Ah, right. Okay, so we do actually create the character. Oops. I may have to very quickly get a new character sheet then. Let me see. Do I have one? I don't think I... Give me 1 second. We won't be a dilettante from Boston after all. I should have read a little ahead there. Give me 1 second. I will get the sheet we need. I might still call myself Alex Quagmire. Not Quagmire, Quagmire. That's what all my friends call me. Here we go. 1920s. Try the auto calc. I don't know. It's nice and shiny looking as well. Okay, open that up. There we go. All right, so call myself Alex. Actually, I'm going to change the name ever so slightly. Quaffmeyer, Alex Quaffmeyer. My age is 23, sex male. All right, okay, we're back in business. Two young men with sullen expressions alight from the coach. One looks you up and down before heading away. The driver also steps down, glancing at you before crossing the road to visit the tobacconist. When he returns, he is rolling a cigarette between his yellowed fingers. He gives it a final twist and examines you as he reaches for his matchbox. He is a thin man in his 50s, dressed in a stained shirt with the bus company emblem. Yet his eyes are sharp in their dark sockets. Where to? You show him your ticket for Ossipee. From there, you will connect to Rochester and Portsmouth, before the coastal line to Newburyport, and finally, Arkham. You should be able to afford a rail ticket for at least some of the way. Otherwise, this will be the first of many long bus trips. The driver scratches the match and lights his cigarette. The end flares as he takes a draw. Then he exhales and gestures to the back of the coach. Luggage rags up there. Okay. Look at your investigator sheet. At the top, you have spaces for 8 characteristics: strength, constitution, power, dexterity, appearance, size, intelligence, and education. Allocate the following values amongst them, writing in the large square before each. Well, this is actually a nice way of getting you into it. Cool. All right. I think I will go for, I feel like going for the high appearance again. So 80 for appearance. We need, it is auto-calculating, very good. 70. I think I'm going to go for dexterous. Okay, now we have our 60. I'm going to go for intelligence. 60, 50, I will put into strength. We have 3 50s. Sort of average. And actually, I'm going to give education here. Size 40. That's right, not power. No, oops, not 50, 40. Is that correct? 80, 70, 60. Have I missed one? Oh, we have another 60. Okay. I will actually then put that education into 60, the size into 50, and 40 into power. Very good. Okay, good. So it's also calculated a lot of the other stuff for us, which is also quite nice. All right. And you can read page 6 of the Quick Start rules if you want more. Now, I do like the fact I can click this. This is so nice. The driver smokes and watches as you drag your cases to the back of the motor coach. The rack is set inconveniently high on the vehicle. You get a grip on the heavier case. If your size is 40, my size is 50, go to 23. If your size is higher than this, go to 38. Okay. Wow, thank you for making this clickable. The driver continues to enjoy his cigarette, watching you with keen interest as you struggle with the cases. You grit your teeth and heave the second one into place. Perhaps the residents of Arkham will have better manners. Probably not. All right. The driver flicks his cigarette into the gutter and steps into the motor coach. Its engine coughs into life. You board, grateful that you will be the only passenger for the initial part of your trip at least. With mixed emotions, you watch from the window as the tired avenues of your old home slip behind you, receding into the distance. For a few minutes, you can still see the church spire over the brow of a low hill. Then the road dips, and it too is gone. Arkham is your new home. You will travel here and make a new start. Now, I'm just going to tempt fate and attempt to do a slight bit of technical adjustment. Okay, that looks good. I can bring the mic down just a tiny bit more so you can get more of my dulcet tones. There we go. Excellent. Okay. So we've got a little bit more technical setup now. You'll see two smaller boxes to the right of each characteristic. Yeah, half. So this is the half and quarter values, the levels of success in the current version of Call of Cthulhu. So that's already there. In the strip below, you will see tracks that record sanity, magic points. Beginning sanity is equal to the original POW. Yep, that's already done. And beginning magic points is the same, divided by 5. That is also... Oops. Done, I think. Magic points, magic points, magic points, magic points. Oh, there we go. Yeah, there. I don't think we're going to need them. Brilliant. Okay, we didn't need to do very much there. The coach putters through the countryside. At first, the interior is stifling, and your stomach lurches with every bend in the road. However, the driver opens his window, and by switching seats, you find a spot where the breeze hits your face. And is it so refreshing? You soon relax into the journey, observing the quaint little hamlets that the coach serves. A heavyset woman boards at one settlement and gives you a polite nod. She gets off at the next one. The road rises a little, passing cornfields and orchards. The leaves are turning and the trees are alive with glorious reds and golds. You have just begun to doze when the driver takes a tight bend at speed. Okay, and now we are doing more setup that I think has already been done for us. Add size and con together, then divide the total by 10, starting hit points. Yes, we already have that. So 50 plus 50, exactly. You also have a luck score. Roll 3 six-sided dice. Luck, 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 luck. Luck, there we go, yeah. 3 six-sided dice, we call this 3d6. Multiply it by 5 to get our beginning luck. Okay. Did not get a very high number here. Let's see, can you see that? Yeah. So I have 9 times by 5, so 45 luck. Excellent. Now I must roll against your dex. Roll a d100. This means rolling 2 10-sided. Why did I get out of 20-sided dice? Don't know why. Roll d100 and you need to get less than 70 in this case. So I have, oops, maybe I should use a digital roller next time, but I'm going to stick to dice for now. Oops. I think you can see that. Anyway, I have 52. I don't think I'll have to get some higher contrast dice. Does that work better? That works slightly better. Well, actually, I have some blue ones here, but I got a 52. So, there we go. You must choose which one to guess. If you rolled equal to your dex or less, you passed the roll. And a disclaimer here. But we passed, so we go to 2, 6, 1. A desperate yell awakens you. You feel yourself slide from the seat as the driver spins the wheel and the motor coach plunges off the road. You grab hold of the seat in front just in time to prevent a painful fall. The coach stops with a thud. Now you see what has happened. A Fordson tractor has stopped in the road and your driver has had to swerve to avoid this steel obstacle. He leaps from his seat into the road, unleashing a string of curses at the farmer. You take a moment to catch your breath. Perhaps you should offer assistance. But the driver has already returned. He backs the coach up a little and threads it around the tractor, glaring at the farmer. Seems reasonable. Go to 71. Oops. Sorry about that. You resume your journey. The driver takes the curve with more caution than before. He glances over his shoulder at you a couple of times. "Sorry about before," he says. "That fellow was dumber than a hog. I'm Silas. What's your name?" Maybe I should perfect the accent here. It's a New England accent. I don't know. I sound like Fraser, maybe. I don't know. "What's your name?" The accident was at least as much Silas's fault as the farmer's, but it doesn't seem shrewd to antagonize the man whilst he's driving you through the middle of nowhere. Make up a name for your character and record it on your investigator sheet. Alex Quaffmeyer. We've already decided that. I think I'm slightly posh. Add your age. So between 23 and 36, we are 23. Maybe I'll make him slightly older then. 24, slightly older. The coach turns onto a narrower road, which weaves uphill through woodland. Silas becomes chatty. "Going to Arkham, eh? Can't say I've ever heard of the place. Went to Boston once. Didn't like it. Too much hustle and bustle. You got family there? Special someone waiting?" The afternoon is wearing on. You see no harm in confiding in Silas about your new life. "A new job, eh? What's your line?" Choose an occupation. I kind of wanted to go down this dilettante angle, but none of these. Antiquarian or journalist. Let's go for a journalist. So, occupation, we are. I like the way that Gavin has introduced the story as you create your character. That's quite nice. Obviously, I jumped too far forward. It might have been nice to maybe mention that in the description. So unlike people like me who didn't just create one anyway. Okay, so I am a journalist, a budding journalist. 239. Tell you one thing I'm going to do very quickly. I am going to actually swap the layout sides here because my camera is over here and the text is over here, so I'll stop looking askew a little bit. There we go. You mentioned the reporter's job, which you secured at the Arkham Gazette on the strength of a few freelance pieces in your local newspaper. It will be a relief to get away from vapid society columns and whimsical stories. I don't know. You understand the Gazette covers everything from the breakthroughs of researchers at Miskatonic University to the most sordid exploits of local ne'er-do-wells. It should be something to get your teeth into at any rate. A writer for a newspaper? Silas seems confused, as if he thought the stories somehow wrote themselves. Your credit rating is 20%. Okay. I'm not quite the dilettante I hope to be then. Your occupation skills are there we go. Art, craft, photography, history, library use, own language, psychology, and one of each of those, okay? You may pick any two other except Cthulhu Mythos, and then divide these numbers. Okay. I'm going to go for fast talk at 70%. Okay, 60%, I reckon, persuade. I'm going to be a bit of a pushy journalist. Another 60 will go for history. I come from a long old family. 50%, 50%. I think I will put 50% into charm. 50% into intimidate. Doesn't really want to do it, but he can if he wants. 350s. One more. 50% into library use. Always useful in Call of Cthulhu. 40% into... I think these numbers are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And we have... Oh, I guess 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Oh, one of either. Oops, that's my mistake. Charm, fast talk, intimidate, or persuade. Okay. I wanted charm, so I'll get rid of... I wondered why I was getting so many that were so similar. Okay. Fast talk, intimidate, or persuade. So I have the 70%. I'll put that into charm. I'll put the 60% into history. Are we done? The second 60% into psychology. One of the 50s into own language. It's kind of slightly odd there, but anyway, whatever. I will put the third 50% into something about missing psychology. I can also pick 2 other skills. Let's go with 50% into photography, I guess. I should put my best ones to my career. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So one more. Oh, I should have 2 40%. I think I'm still not quite right here. We have a 70, we have 2 60s, we have 3 50s, 2 40s. What have I missed? History is there, library use is there. So, yeah. 2 skills for 40. I'm a pushy journalist. Oh no, Dex is just half. Dodge is just half your Dex. Let's go for Brawl. Why not? I've been in Boston. And one more for 40. I'm not driving, so obviously don't know how to drive. What about... I don't know. Listen, I am a journalist after all. I just noticed that should be down. It's slightly confusing. It says own language, but then own language is edu. I'll leave it like that. I don't think it's going to be particularly important that I know a foreign language. Half dex for dodge. Strange that this doesn't auto-calculate. And that will do. Okay, good. Right, we're done. We have created... I've forgotten my name already. Alex. Alex Quaffmeyer. I could remember the surname. All right. On we go. You realize that Silas hasn't made a stop since the incident with the tractor. The motor coach winds its way uphill. However, your thoughts are interrupted as the road crests a ridge and you are treated to a magnificent view of the vista below. A creek snakes through the valley, breaking the rich autumn palette of the tree line. In the distance, as the white mountains rise into a hazy cloud. There is no settlement, not even a cabin, as far as the eye can see. Birds drift through the rooftops, and you can just make out what might be two white-tailed deer lingering by the water. Perhaps you are making a mistake by moving to the city. Could you survive on your own in this lush wilderness? Me personally, no. You have a base ability in most skills, listed in brackets after the skill name on the investigator's sheet. For instance, you have 20% in climb and a base dodge equal to half your dex. Yes, we just did that. Choose 4 skills which are not your occupation skills, nor Cthulhu Mythos. These are your personal interest skills. Boost each by 20. Okay, I thought we already did that. Oops. Disguise, sure. Drive, no. Go for fast talk. How many? 4. Law. I seem to like the natural world. And I can ride a horse. I don't know. Oh, there's more over there. I just noticed, actually. Whoops. I should probably take one of those. Usually more useful. So spot hidden, for example. I may also take law back out and put that into stealth. All right. And the plug for the interactive version, which I am using yet again. All right, 144. Okay, now I just need to keep a slight eye on the time. Busy evening. Okay, good. Oh, good. The motor coach rattles on through the hills and Silas lapses into silence. The sky darkens behind you and pinks tinting the clouds as the sun descends. Finally, a welcome sight comes into view, a settlement on the crest of a hill. This doesn't look like the pictures you've seen of Ossipee, but perhaps you can persuade Silas to stop while you stretch your legs. Minutes later, a harsh stuttering from the engine interrupts your reverie. Silas frowns and rattles the gear stick. The motor coach falters in its ascent. Silas utters a curse you don't recognize and grinds his teeth, struggling at the wheel. You seem to inch up the hill until you reach the first buildings, low dwellings constructed from rough red stone. Silas wrestles the coach into a small bay off the road. He scrambles from his seat and makes for the engine compartment. You must now choose to make a roll against Drive Auto or Psychology. If you choose Drive Auto, you need to roll. Okay, all right. Drive Auto or Psychology. I am much better at Psychology. So, Psychology. I'll roll my dice. Uh-oh. I got an 80... Getting D10 on screen is quite difficult. I got an 83. So I failed. I failed my roll. Silas opens the engine compartment and sticks his head inside. The hot metal pops and sizzles. He pokes at various components, then withdraws and wipes his brow, smearing it with dark grease. I ain't sure what's wrong. Might be the oil pressure. Might be something knocked off kilter when we took that spill. Can't do much until the engine cools neither. And with the light failing, I reckon we'll be here through the night. He wipes his hand on a rag. The shadows from your surroundings are already long and the air is chilly. You feel stiff from the journey and a night in the rickety coach sounds unappealing. Silas sees your dismay. This here's Emberhead, miles from any place. I only come through twice a week, but the folks here are good people. May Ledbetter keeps a spare room. She'll look after you. Up that alley, turn right, first house on the left. He scratches his cheek, looks again into the engine compartment and spits on the ground. Meet me back here at 8 in the morning and we'll see how we stand. I guess, where do I go? Down here, I suppose. All right, here we go. To look for May Ledbetter's house, go to 267. To ask Silas where he will spend the night, go to 251. To challenge Silas about the breakdown, go to 257. I think I'll ask Silas. I'm a student. We're getting a journalist. Not made of money. Maybe he's got a cheaper option. You ask about Silas's plans. He gives the engine a sour glance before answering. I've got acquaintances in the village. Reckon one of them owes me a favour. Enough for bed and breakfast in any case. He stares at his grubby hands. Probably won't stretch to a hot bath. You don't seem to have a lot of options. You fetch your cases from the back of the motor coach. The last thing you need is for all your worldly possessions to disappear into some stranger's hovel overnight. 267. You drag your cases between the sullen buildings. You feel surprisingly weary, considering you have spent all day sitting down. Silas's directions lead you to a modest dwelling with a slate roof. A nameplate reads Ledbetter, and underneath a sign, a neat copperplate reads Lodging Room. The lane around you is gloomy, but a lamp flickers in the window. A breeze chills your face. You're not about to begin your new life by sleeping on the street. You rap on the weather-beaten door. After a moment, you hear footsteps inside the house. A bolt is drawn back, and the wooden door swings open. A figure with loose curls and a rough-looking house dress peers at you. Her gaze takes in your travelling suit and your cases. Her voice has an Irish lilt. Oh, here we go. Hello. Should I take it as you're looking for a room for the night? Too bad. Okay. We're on 4. You inquire as to her rates, suppressing a grimace. As far as you've seen, this village does not offer you many alternatives. Oh, you'll find... accent. That's not Silas. Oh, you'll find them very reasonable, she says. You look tired. I'm May. Come inside and we'll talk over a cup of tea. I seem to be wandering from South to North Ireland. The Ledbetter house feels cramped with a low ceiling and simple fittings, but it is well kept and a cheerful fire crackles in the grate. The aroma of the tea is soothing and the cup warms your fingers. Have you come to Emberhead for the festival? Asks May. I think I'll just tell her about the coach. I'm keen to get going, really. May shakes her head, and you glimpse a moment of deep-seated anger in her green eyes. Oops, I can't seem to select right here. He always drives too fast. Thinks the road is made for him and him alone. He hit a mare some years back. That was a terrible thing. You should have seen the state of the coach. You'd be surprised at the damage done. She sips her tea and gazes past you into the corner of the room. With living here, though, we can't afford to antagonize the man. He's about the only link we have to the world at large. And he's not a bad soul at heart. I suppose that going the same route for 15 years makes a man careless. You have to forgive him. May goes silent for a long moment. Then her eyes flick back to you. But you didn't come here to listen to me blather. And you must be hungry. I can rustle you up a bit of stew. How would that be? You ask again about her rates, and May names a price so low you accept without hesitation. The room is small but comfortable, and the stew dark and heavy. After dinner, you have a couple of hours before your usual bedtime. To talk to May some more, walk outside and get your bearings, or turn in for an early night. I'm tired. I've already assessed that, so I'm going to go early night. Oops. As May stands, you hear a clunk behind you. You look over your shoulder, but all you see is a wooden door securely closed. May tuts. The young lady of the house. She'll have been listening to us. Ruth, come and greet our guest. There is a short pause, then the door creaks open. Two wide eyes peer at you from the gap between tousled hair and a rough nightgown. What do you say? The eyes blink. Pleased to meet you. Now go back to bed. The door closes again. My daughter Ruth, 10 years this summer. She's a delight and a torment all in one. Don't worry, she sleeps in with me. She'll not disturb you. Good night now. Down here we go. You retire. Oops, no, not an accent. You retire to your room. It's a little chilly, but you are too tired to worry about lighting the fire. The sheets are clean and the bed soon warms up. The silence outside is strange after living in a town for so long, but you soon drop off. You dream of fire in the grate, coruscating colours shimmering through the dancing tongues of flame. At first they are tiny, almost microscopic, but they grow and grow until a kaleidoscope inferno spills from the fireplace, spreading across the floor, up the sheets. You wake with a start. Daylight glints through the curtains. You get up and examine the grate, blinking the sleep from your eyes. It is quite cold. If you have taken any damage, you may heal 1 hit point back for your night's sleep. And there on our second day, I think I will call Alex in Alone Against the Flames for the day. Alex will go on pause, and I'll be back next week with part 2 of Alone Against the Flames, which is a solo Call of Cthulhu scenario from Gavin Inglis. You can subscribe to my channels in the details. There we go. I always get this wrong. There. Find more on christianschiller.com, or I am now putting events ahead of time that you can watch on YouTube, or you just look for the schedule on Twitch to see. Well, it should be about this time next week, about 16:30 Berlin time on Thursday. I'll be back with part 2 of Alone Against the Flames. If you've enjoyed what you have seen and heard so far, please subscribe to either of the channels. Please visit my website, sign up for my newsletters and any other things I do, and reach out to me on any social media, and I will be pleased to hear from you. Until next time, I bid you adieu.